So 4 years later, as I said, opinions across India are still sharply divided. But one thing is that an interview on how a person behaves cannot be the basis for deciding innocence or guilt. We asked tonight, despite the fact that Nupur Talwar is in jail tonight, the CBI maintains its case, the Talwars maintain that they're innocent. Why is this one of India's great unsolved murder mysteries? Why is it that India, at least urban India, seems to be so obsessed with this case? Well, joining me tonight on that is Mr. KTS Tulsi, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, Senior Advocate. I'm also joined by Mr. Karthikeyan, former CBI Director, and Namita Bhandare, columnist and writer. Thank you all very much for joining me tonight. Let me not actually get into the legal view first. Let me go across Namita Bhandare for a different view on why India's interest, obsession, the human, at actually dissecting every element of this human tragedy. Why do you think India is so focused on this? And when I say India, of course, I refer mainly to television watching or urban India.
And people like us, because I think for people like us, this is a case that is very, very close, strikes close to the heart. This is something that could have happened to you and me. I mean, I have daughters who are more or less, who are, the same age that Aarushi would have been. So this is definitely, and when there is any crime that involves the middle class, particularly middle class women, whether she's called Jessica Lal or whether she's called Priyadarshini Mattu, there is that edge, that fascination, and which is almost it borders on the prurient. But I won't go into that. I'm not making a moral judgment. I think also the fact that we're no wiser. 4 years later, we don't know. We doubt, we ask questions, could he have, could she have, no they couldn't have, but we really don't know. We don't know, was there evidence, what happened on that night of May the 15th, 2008. 4 years later, we don't know.
Mr. Karthikeyan, in that sense, in fact, the law enforcement agencies have been in the dock since the beginning. First, the Noida police. It was, in fact, the Talwars who asked that this case be handed over to the CBI. Then we saw first a clean sheet from the CBI, a change of heart when new investigating agencies and a new CBI director came in, and now the conclusion by the CBI that the parents are behind this murder. What do you feel as a former director and observer of this? Because again, we've had two different versions from the CBI themselves. Mr. Karthikeyan?
Yes. It is not.
I'm sorry, the audio seems to be bad, so I'll just come back to you on that. But Mr. Jethmalani, perhaps you could come in with your views on that.
On what? Sorry, Sonia, I missed that question.
The question really focusing on the twists and turns that have come not so much from the Talwars but also from the law enforcement agencies. The huge outcry after, of course, the initial bungling by the Noida police, but even within the CBI, and I said that the Talwars had actually asked the case be handed over to the CBI. Even within the CBI, we had two different directors and two different versions.
Well, you're absolutely right, Sonia. I mean, this is an absolutely befuddling case, and as far as I'm concerned, there's already been trial by media. And now trial on this whole bail application. I mean, when you reject bail for somebody and say that the crime is heinous, that's one thing. Of course, the crime is, it's an atrocious crime. But to suggest that somebody deserves to be denied bail because a crime is heinous is not, in my view, a judicial approach. Because, frankly speaking, you should be seeing what the evidence in this case is. And as you rightly pointed out, the CBI itself has taken a contrary stand. The Talwars have been pressing for a CBI investigation even after they filed the closure report. The evidence is based, there is no direct evidence. There is no weapon seized from either of the Talwars. The whole thing is based on conjecture, surmise, and circumstantial evidence, if you can call it circumstantial evidence. I think there's a travesty of justice going on here. And I think it's time people started speaking out. And most of all, Sonia, there is a presumption of innocence. These people are presumed to be innocent, and they cannot be condemned either by trial by media or by CBI innuendos or by statements saying that the crime is heinous and therefore bail is denied. Because bail is not supposed to be meant to be punitive. You only deny bail to people if you feel they're going to subvert the trial. This is a case of no evidence in my view, and therefore there is no evidence to be subverted.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.